Welcome to a new episode of Positive Talk Daily. My name is Mr. Positive. Today on Positive Talk Daily, we're looking at the Moto G5G 2025. First off, we're on YouTube at Mr. Positive Live. Click on the bell icon and subscribe. When you click on the bell icon, you will get notified about when we go live or post new videos. Today, the Moto G5G 2025 is the cheapest 5G smartphone you can buy in 2025. And what I mean by that is it's only retailed on Straight Talk for $39.99. You're getting a full-fledged 5G smartphone. Walk into Walmart, you walk out on Straight Talk, Total Wireless, whatever. You have a 5G smartphone for $40. Can't go wrong. It is the cheapest, and I mean this is the cheapest 5G smartphone you can get that has decent specs. Okay, let's take a look around the back here. You got a 50 megapixel main camera, a 5 megapixel ultra wide camera, and a sensor that helps with better lighting and things like that. Now, there is no 4K video recording with this phone. It does max out at 1080p at 60 frames per second. You do have an LED flash. Going down to the bottom, you have a Type-C charging, headphone jack, stereo speakers, and Dolby surround sound. Dolby audio, I should say, okay? Dolby audio on board if you have the headphones that support that, okay? And the fact you're getting a headphone jack, Apple, Samsung, other companies that are doing away with the headphone jack, you're getting Type-C. Now, there's also a more expensive version of the Moto G5G. That's the Moto G5G Power, which comes with the same overall specs on board. You're still getting a MediaTek Dimensity 6100 chipset. So same overall. You are getting RAM boost with this phone. You're getting either 4 gigs or 8 gigs you can choose from with basically RAM boost. This is what the packaging is going to look like for those out there looking to purchase this smartphone for $40. You do get your Straight Talk branding. You do get a 6.7-inch LCD display. It's an IPS panel, but you are getting Gorilla Glass 3 to protect the phone, and you're also getting a 6.7-inch screen. So it's nice and bright. You don't have to worry about it. All-day battery with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. And you are getting a quad camera setup, which is 2 cameras, 50 megapixel and 5 megapixel ultra wide. Okay, you are getting a 2.4 gigahertz chipset and a 2.0 gigahertz octa-core processor. So 2.4 gigahertz and a 2.0 gigahertz chipset. So however we look at that, so you are getting a 2.4 gigahertz and a 2 gigahertz chip. So 2 of them, 4 cores, that's decent. Around the back, it comes with 64 gigs of internal storage, which isn't the greatest. We would have liked to have seen 128 gigs of storage, but what can we say for a phone that's retailed for $40? There is a version of the Moto G5G 2024 that does come with 128 gigs of storage, but thanks to RAM boost and things like that, you can make the phone run a little bit faster, and you're getting 120 hertz refresh rate on top of that 720p panel. Okay, now if you move up to the Moto G5G Power, or the Moto G5G Power 2025, you will get a 1080p resolution. It's still IPS panel, but you also get wireless charging at 15 watts. No wireless charging on this model of the phone. Now, the great news about the Moto G5G 2025 is it's inexpensive. And people that are out there looking for a phone that has NFC, 120 hertz refresh rate, all-day battery life, you're going to get that, okay? You're also going to get 25-watt fast charging thanks to the built-in charger, but they don't give you the charger, so you have to buy a charger. Motorola's doing away with the charging bricks, so you just get the wire and stuff, so just have to deal with whatever you have. You can hook this right up to your computer and charge it that way. There is no wireless charging, but if you move up to the Moto G5G 2020, Moto G5G Power 2025, you will get wireless charging, which is nice. You won't get it on this version, even though it's retailed for between $150. The thing is, this was a $200 smartphone when it first came out. But it is silky fast. I mean, look at this. there is no lag. Like there is zero lag. Since I've had this phone, there is no lag. Like everything loads great. Like Facebook is fast. Depending on your internet connection, you may have a little hiccup here and there, but I mean, this thing is quick. Once everything is loaded, like, it's hard to go. Like, if you're someone who uses, say, an iPhone that has a 60 hertz refresh rate, and someone's telling you, well, having a 60 hertz panel doesn't really matter, bullshit. Going from a 120 hertz panel or even a 90 hertz panel back to a 60 hertz panel is almost hard to do because your eyes adapt to the 120 hertz refresh rate. Now, this is not a 4K screen. This is not 2K. This is not a device that has OLED panel. It is an IPS panel. But for the most part, the reason why Motorola puts an IPS panel is for better battery life. Okay. Now the good thing about this phone is you can actually bring it down to 90 hertz or you can bring it down to auto. So, you can have it running at 60 hertz, which still runs just fine. And, running the phone at 60 hertz also protects the battery life on this Moto G phone. Okay. So far, what do I think of the phone? I give the phone from a 1 to a 10, I give it about a 7. Okay, you are getting really decent performance with the MediaTek Dimensity 6100 chipset, which we've seen in other phones over the past few years. I think it's got a decent phone. Now, what are some of the things they could have fixed on this phone? I think one of the biggest issues with Motorola is software updates. And the reason why a lot of people avoid Motorola phones is because it only gives you maybe 1 to 2 years. Same goes with this phone. We're not even sure if it will get Android 18 or 19. We'll see. The phone is said to get maybe 2 years of software updates and maybe 1 to 2 years of security updates. We'll see what Lenovo does. But this is a decent phone for the most part. And you really can't go wrong because it is the cheapest decent 5G phone. Now, there is the Blue View Pro, the Blue View 5 Pro, but that phone is garbage. And I reviewed the Blue View 5, and it's not a good phone, okay? This phone is day and night much better than the Blue View 5 Pro and the Blue View 5, okay? If you're going to walk through Walmart and you see any of the phones like this, the Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or this one, these two phones are head-to-head probably the better options. If you see a phone out there like the Summit 5G Plus or 5CS on Boost Mobile, that's a garbage phone. Stay away from it. Motorola is the better avenue. They are the 4th highest selling phone manufacturer in the country. So you're going to get a decent product, a few years of software updates. So if you're looking for an inexpensive, cheap 5G smartphone that runs all your apps just fine. Seriously, these run really, really, really good, okay? You're getting really solid performance on here. Everything from the Google Play Store runs just fine. You can run all your demanding, video games. You can run all your demanding video games on here without a slouch, really. And thanks to that 120 hertz refresh rate, and you get all-day battery life. So that really, really makes a big deal. What are some things they could have worked on here? Adding more storage, 128 gigs of storage wouldn't that have been an issue here. Also giving it more of maybe a 1080p screen resolution, but you take what you get here. The cameras are pretty solid on here. I will agree, the cameras on here, don't let that fool you. That's not a camera, that's a sensor. You mainly have this one and this one. These two sensors are the main cameras. If you're coming from an older Moto G phone, this is one hell of an upgrade. Okay, you're still getting 120 hertz refresh rate, stereo speakers, you're getting a 6.7 inch screen. It looks nice, it has a vegan leather back, and it's just a nice device. Now, yes, there is no 4K video recording or anything like that. You will max out at 1080p. It's okay though. People buying this phone aren't buying a phone to use it as their daily camera or anything like that. If you're just doing Zoom calls, talking with friends, using this for quick snapshots for Instagram, the phone is just fine for that. The positives about going over to a straight talk plan is you can get unlimited talk and text plans, data plans for as low as $25. You can also go up as high as $75 or $65. You can also do if you do sort of like auto pay, it takes off $5. So Straight Talk's a perfect way to go if you're trying to save some money. What I do is I do Straight Talk, and I just pay it every 2 months. I put a little bit extra down, and I don't have to worry about any hidden fees, anything like that. I think Straight Talk has a good deal right now. The Moto G5G 2025 is one hell of a phone. 6.7 inch screen, stereo speakers, decent cameras, can't really go wrong. Check out the Moto G5G 2025 today. Thanks for watching Positive Talk.